What I'm seeing is alarming. It's not a small thing. We have a cosmos which seems to have been static for as long as we can look back. Having changed at least a couple times, one of them Noah's flood that we know of, historically documented, and the other through the Exodus, again was historically documented. Mm-hmm. We are going through such massive changes now to where stars are not where they're supposed to be according to astronomers. Our sun is not doing what it has always done, nor is it in its proper place. The moon, same thing. Not in its proper place, not in its proper position, its phases are off. It's puzzles that need to be looked at very carefully. Each one has their own piece. And whether we ever figure it out, only time will tell. But every bit of information that we can glean will give us a better perspective as to what the picture is.
Well, now, I've looked at a number of these things on the internet. There was one in a bus, and they were looking out the other window.
I've seen that one, sure.
Okay, it was a double reflection coming in and bouncing off the windows on this side of the bus and going out that side. Okay, that was a non-event. There was another one looking over the horizon in the ocean, and if you talk to the locals there, they've seen this in the past. It is an atmospheric phenomenon that occurs with charged particles and dust particles over the horizon. If there were a dual sun like that, it wouldn't be an isolated vision of it. It's an optical thing that forms due to, I think, electromagnetics and dust particles and reflections. That's my opinion. I haven't seen anything yet in any of those examples that I couldn't explain through normal physics, normal reflections and artifacts.
When you have amateur astronomers, so to speak, or just observers, they'll make mistakes like shooting through a glass window. And today, if you have a double pane or triple pane, these are filled with gas. They're going to cause distortions, and so you're going to see a second sun. So is the camera. So it's not even an optic situation in the cameras. On the other hand, there is no question in my mind that these people are having authentic experiences because they are profoundly emotionally upset by it. I think a good analogy to it would be what MUFON investigators are finding. When they're interviewing people, it's really difficult to cobble together data to form a convincing argument, and yet they're talking to someone who very clearly has had a profound experience.
Puts it back up. Yeah, you can definitely see it. There is something right next to the sun.
There have been many YouTube videos put up, and I believe some of them are very authentic. Unfortunately, those who are science-minded, those who have the information, whether it's our science laureates or our individual governments, don't want us to know exactly what's going on. They want to keep it hidden. There are videos out there that I have researched. I have gone through countless images through the satellites. There are 9 of them that I use. And I have come to the conclusion that there are additional bodies out there. And I use that plural because there is more than one. It wouldn't surprise me if NASA was trying to block something out. They do it all the time. They redact images from the daily lineup from the satellites. They will fuzz the picture. They will change the colorations. They will tweak the contrast. Anything to throw off or smudge or smear so we cannot get a clear picture as to what's going on. I come across that all the time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have seen many images where things have been blocked out.
There's so much intimidation and suppression right now for people spotting two suns images and reporting them, very analogous to the kind of suppression you see with people who are reporting UFO sightings.
Stan, in this footage that we're looking at here, what do you think this is?
Well, it's an object. I've looked at some of the similar shots of the earlier Core 2 images a couple years back, and there's a black circle like that that goes around the back of the sun, just like this thing here, with it kind of looks like an elliptical orbit, and that is fairly convincingly the other satellite for the stereo pair, Core 1. But this one, and the edges of that black dot, that circle in that, were sharp, like somebody had taken a GIF pixelated, image and dropped it in on top of it. This, on the other hand, it's fuzzy, which is what I would expect if it were a live thing in the image. What it is another thing, and I'll have to study this and tell you later. But the light for it being back here, for instance, my first thought is that when we see it here, it's illuminated here. But the right side of that object is illuminated from this side, and I don't see any position that could be where the sun is illuminating the back side of it. There's something else there, and if this is a truly non-doctored image, what happens is we go along here and it moves up, comes into view now right there as a dark, non-illuminated thing, because it is the light of the sun is obviously darkening it as a shadow on this side, and it goes up here like that. The date here is showing 24, and the hour is 12:18, 13:15. So we're talking about traversing all that in a couple days, which is pretty fast.